We've been married 8 months now, and this was our first Christmas together. He has 2 kids, 5 male and 7 female, from his previous marriage. He was supposed to have the kids for Christmas morning according to the custody order, but the little ones begged to stay with their mom. His ex has a large family and it was going to be a huge Christmas for them with lots of cousins and grandparents. Whereas my husband doesn't have any family nearby. I had done all the decorations and cooking like he wanted. But I had made the desserts I know to bake and not the cookies the kids wanted because I didn't know how to make them. Since the divorce, every Christmas the kids ask to stay with their mom since that sounds more fun to them, and that has been a painful point for him. I understood that, and put in a lot of work to make it as magical as we can at our home, but kids still wanted to be with their extended family. Which is also something I empathize with. I myself come from a large family and I totally understand how the kids feel, also they are so young. He was heartbroken about it, and I tried to console him and make him happy. Christmas morning, he was sad over all the unopened presents for kids. I tried to distract him by pointing out that we could use this time to celebrate our relationship, and he blew up at me. He called me a failure for my inability to make the cookies they usually had, saying that is the reason the kids didn't stay. He screamed at me that he compromised and married someone not in his league so his kids would have a good mother figure, and what good am I if I can't even do that? Then stuff about all the ways I was lacking physically, and that he was stuck with a prude. I was so shocked I couldn't say anything. I just took my purse and left. I drove to my parents' house. We were supposed to arrive for dinner and everyone can see that something's wrong. But I haven't told anyone anything. I didn't want to ruin others' Christmas. He showed up at dinner time and acted all pleasant and normal. He gave me my gift, some expensive earrings, and has been very charming with my family. We got back and he went to bed, and I've been sitting up thinking that there is no coming back from this. Would it be a mistake to quietly plan my exit? First of all, it's definitely not your fault the kids wanted to stay with their mom for the big party. They probably have a lot more fun there with their cousins and other kids, which is a perfectly normal reason for the kids wanting to stay at their mom's. I applaud how you really did try to make the desserts that you feel the kids would enjoy. I think you went above and beyond by baking 5 different kinds of cookies even though you weren't successful baking the ones they requested. Secondly, you have every right to be hurt and feel the need to reconsider your marriage to this man. Even as an outsider, I can see how the way he reacted is really shocking and hurtful. I think he crossed the line for blaming you for his kids not staying over when that's clearly not the reason at all, like at all. Sure, one can argue and say he blamed you out of anger. However, the fact that he said he compromised and married someone not in his league so his kids would have a good mother figure. This is beyond frustrations. No loving partner says things like this to make them feel so worthless. He is a major effing piece of crap. He is admitting to you that he thinks you're not physically attractive to be with him, and he only married you so he can use you to be good mother to his kids. Believe them the first time when they show you their true colors. This man is manipulating and full of crap. There is nothing that he can say that will fix what he said. The things he said, they are running in my head on a loop. If he honestly thinks that, then that is a horrible manipulation in marrying me. If he doesn't think that but said it in anger, then what a cruel way to hurt your wife. I can't think of any way that what he said was something I can ignore. He didn't want to parent before and married you hoping you would parent them now. He is a lazy, cruel man. Is he lost? Can he not find the kitchen? 'Cause he could make the special cookies too. They are not your children and it is not on you to build their relationship with him. If he wanted a relationship with them, he can work on it with them. They are children, but kids always know when they are not wanted. He wants credit but not do any work. Get out as quickly and painlessly as you can. Good luck. I'm a divorced father with similar aged kids. Your husband has unresolved issues he needs to work with a therapist on. I've never spoken like that to even my ex-wife. I'm going to venture a guess that he's this way sometimes with his kids. Don't discount that impact to them wanting to stay with their mom. It's up to you, but I can't disagree with divorce being in the table. Your comment reminded me of a peer review article I read when I was working on my psychology degree and taking a counseling class. Men who not have their kids engage in domestic violence more. Losing their kids makes some men feel emasculated, And they are way more likely to beat their new romantic partner than a man that is with his children and their mother. Obviously not all men are like this. I would not be surprised if OP's husband is though. I had an ex that was full of red flags, which I fully ignored. One day I remember he told me that during an argument, he would say whatever he could to try and hurt me. Eventually he did. Then got surprised when I didn't want to continue the relationship because he had said too many hurtful things to me. While the things he said to you were enough to question your relationship, I think that he came over to your parents' house like planned and acted like nothing was wrong is downright creepy. I probably wouldn't have let him in. No apology, no talking about it, no nothing. This is how people argue in my family, and it's how my mom operates if left to her own devices. Argue, hit as hard and as low as possible to cause as much pain as possible. Then walk away, and when you come back, the argument is over and the subject is changed, and it is not discussed again. That last part is mission critical. You cannot bring it up again, or you're throwing, whatever it is, up in their face. You become the bad guy for not moving on, because the things that were said were not meant, it was just hurt and lashing out. It took me years in therapy to stop doing this myself, because it's how I grew up. It's how I learned to treat people when I'm hurt. Mind, I'm not defending it. It's toxic and abusive and does so much effing damage. Just saying I'm familiar with the strategy. If OP's husband doesn't recognize how terrible this is, and get help immediately for it, I'd walk away. Not that OP is obligated to stay either way, of course. Even if he gets help, she doesn't have to be there while he does. Men who explode on their relationship partner whenever they face disappointment are very, very frightening. You don't know when it's coming, or when it will stop. Anything can set him off. You, as the wife, have no control over his emotional state, but will be his first target for anger, and likely physical abuse as this goes on. This is a horrible way to live, and this is just an early example. It will get worse as you exit the honeymoon period of your marriage. Make sure your birth control is rock solid. Don't let a pregnancy tether you to him for life. Be calm. This isn't an emergency at this point. Speak with a lawyer in strict privacy, take pains to be very discreet. Determine a plan to get out safely and secretly. This may take a little time as you'll need to set up a bank account in your name only, with enough money to live on your own for a while. If he got that angry over the Christmas issue, he will really explode when he realizes you are leaving. Be sure you are safely out of the home when he has served the papers. Be sure family knows not to reveal information to this man, and let them know what is going on so they can help protect you. He may say he wants to apologize, it was just a little argument, etc. Let them know his Mr. Nice Guy act is just an act. Have good security or cameras wherever you end up going when you leave. The only small consolation is that you found out relatively early. You are young. You can be free of this man and have lots of time to heal and move on. It's really unfortunate for the kids, but it sounds like you did right by them. And they have a strong family on mom's side to protect them. Good luck. Every piece of your post is outlining you running damage control for him. From Christmas prep, dessert, doing the emotional labor of 1, empathizing with his kids, 2, consoling him, 3, downplaying his abuse and preserving others' feelings at a party. You are running yourself absolutely ragged playing Bob the Builder. Can you fix it? Maybe you shouldn't. He said some unforgivable things to you. There is no excuse for dressing someone down like he did. I'm seriously wondering if he's over his last marriage, or the issues that caused it to break down. Not sure how amicable the relationship is, but I'd seriously consider talking to his ex-wife and see if she had similar concerns. Regardless, I need you to be straight up with your husband. He is not allowed to treat you this way, ever. Lay down your boundaries and feelings, and if he chooses to lash out at you for having some basic self-respect, then you need to leave. Oh, and give him back his jewelry, he will use it against you. Update. Thanks to all who gave me advice on the last post. Sorry, I couldn't respond to everyone. To answer some of the questions I got. We dated for almost 2 years before marrying. This was the first Christmas as a family with the kids. I am a pretty good cook, but I had never worked with rolling dough before, and the kids wanted cutout cookies. I have never seen him yell at the kids, he's a very good dad to them. He had never acted like that with me either. I didn't simply tell him to focus on us when he was upset. All Christmas Eve, I had consoled him and talked to him about how Christmas is not the only time we'll have with kids, and things will change in the future. I made plans for making New Year's fun with kids, for taking kids to ice shows and other winter activities. After that, on Christmas morning, I tried to change the topic to us. The day after Christmas, I was stuck in indecision. I was too scared to end things and leave, and I was also too scared to start a discussion. He didn't talk about it either, and we lived in silence without communicating till the kids came home. I had a short conversation with the kids' mom where I complimented her on how much the kids miss her cookies, and she said she just bought the cookie decorating kits. We had a good chat, but inside my head I was screaming. My husband made me jump through hoops to make the perfect Christmas food while he didn't have a good idea of what his kids actually liked. I got those kits for the kids and they had fun with them. Then he finally talks to me and tells me to stop sulking and not ruin the kids' holidays with my bad mood. That made me angry, and I argued with him about what he had said to me. He flat out denied saying anything about me being less than him or my looks or our sex life. He says he was upset and my nagging pissed him off, but he forgives me and is sure that I'll do better next time. I packed up my bags and left to stay with my parents. As a parting shot, he called me an irresponsible and immature little girl for leaving them in a lurch with the holiday plans. I have an appointment scheduled with a divorce lawyer for next week. I know this seems like a failure to communicate on my part, but I don't have the skills to wrangle with this guy. I don't want to be with someone that can sucker punch me like that. I'll stick to relationships with people who fight in my weight class. OP, that's classic Darvo, defend, attack, reverse victim and offender. He defends his behavior. He attacks your behavior. He paints himself as the victim and you as the offender. This is classic emotional abuse OP, stay on your toes for him to try and keep you around. He'll love bomb you, he'll even pretend he's putting an effort to change, but he won't. And he won't let you realize it until he thinks he has you trapped. He thought marriage was enough to keep you, and it's not. I'm proud of you. If you go back, expect him to try and get you pregnant or make you financially dependent on him, or both. Oh hun, this isn't a guy that is championing you at all. The fact that you're choosing to leave this toxic environment is such a relief to read. When I divorced, I always worried about what other people would think. Although it is true that other people have opinions, people that love you are going to be cheering you making the best decision of your life. Edit, be careful with him, something tells me he's going to love bomb you 1 minute, then send in the nasty torpedoes another minute. Don't fall for the love bombing. I don't know about him ever being nice to me again. He was pretty mad when I left. He's always been very generous with gifts and such. His attention to buying for me things I like, understanding my taste had fooled me into believing he loved me. Oh my goodness. You really did try. Reaching out to the mom was lovely. To be honest, I'm judging him for 1, not even knowing what kind of cookies the kids made, and 2, not doing it himself. I don't see a failure to communicate on your part. I see a situation in which nothing you do is going to be good enough for him not to take it out on you when he's upset with something over which you have no control. I'm sorry. We talked when she was dropping off the kids. I've worked on building a polite relationship with her. He tries hard with the kids, but it looks like he can't accept that you can't control what the kids want. He'd rather blame me. I'm so glad that this is headed towards divorce. This didn't even apologize. He blames OP for his temper and gaslights her with his nasty behavior. Good riddance. But I would tell OP to speak to your family and friends about exactly why you are leaving this POS so he doesn't control the narrative. I wouldn't put it past him to create a crazy story where you hurt him and not the other way around. Be careful around him. The guy you dated for 2 years is apparently not the real him. He married you to have a babysitter for the kids. Move on and find someone to start your own family with. You're young and kind, the whole world is open for you. In your last post, the primary problem was his comment about you being out of his league and only marrying you to be a mother figure to his kids. That comment was the comment he could never justify, no matter how much he apologized. He either meant it, which is terrible, or he didn't mean it, but was cruel enough to pretend he meant it, to hurt you. So the fact that he is now gaslighting you and denying what he said just goes to show how terrible he really is. I wouldn't even have any conversations with him at this point because he will just lie, deny, and twist his own words and make you seem crazy. He's basically rewriting history by erasing all of his words and actions and highlighting your reactions and responses. Maybe look into narcissistic personality disorder (OP) and see if many of the traits complement your husband's behavior. Regardless, your story demonstrated so much evidence of gaslighting that I felt sick with it. On another note, congratulations on having the courage and sheer willpower to walk out. You're doing an absolutely amazing job, well done. I don't know about narcissism. I've seen a side of him I can't live with, but there is also a lot that is very admirable about him. He's had a tragic and difficult life and he overcame a lot and became very successful. Because he doesn't have family, lost them when young, he really wants to have a whole big family, magical movie type holidays, the perfect home setup. When we were dating I thought our values aligned, I want those things too. Didn't realize he doesn't know how that happens. He was delegating that job to me. I know it's not anything wrong that I did, but I still feel a bit like a failure in giving up here. But he needs someone a lot cleverer who can manage him perhaps. Stop explaining his behavior. If he really wanted a family he would reflect upon himself and treat you kindly. People like him don't deserve to feel the warmth of a family. I pity the next poor woman who has to pick up this charity case.